Welcome to match 389. Bruno Sammartino and Superstar Billy Graham. This is an old classic match from the 70s. And the cool thing is both of you guys are actually in the game, so it's really nice to have them in this game. Because I love that they go way back like this. They go from all wrestlers from all times. They don't just go back to the 80s. They'll go back to 70s. Because these guys started wrestling in the 60s. I like to see them do more wrestlers in like the 50s and stuff and go way back. They could put like Gorgeous George in the game from who wrestled. He wrestled way back in the 40s. I think he wrestled out with 40s, maybe even the 30s. I can't remember how long his career was, but it'd be great if they go back to at least go back to wrestling when it was on television, starting in the 50s. Take some wrestlers from that time period. And because I think Bruno started in the late 50s actually, and then wrestled into the 80s. His probably best decade was the 70s, though, Bruno and Superstar. They were their best decades were the 70s. Because Bruno wrestled in the 60s. Because like Andre the Giant's probably got most famous in the 80s, but his best decade physically was the 70s. Andre, his prime was the 70s, but his most notable match was in the 80s at the end of his career. But he was the more people should see Andre in the 70s, his matches when he did drop kicks and stuff. He would jump off the top rope. But yeah, you go back, I think, if I remember correctly, Bruno started in 59 or 50, late 50s. He's actually started being a wrestler. But yeah, I'd like to see them go back and have take 10 wrestlers from the 50s and stuff, so people can learn about these guys from way back. Because I like the history of wrestling, and like to see all these wrestlers from who wrestled decades ago in the video games before video games were even around. Bruno with a bear hug. And Superstar Billy Graham. He could he was a good talker. He had all kinds of. He always rhymed stuff, and he was great. He's gonna get out of that, yeah. The Bruno, yeah, they put Bruno in it. Bruno in his blue, probably his most familiar. Look at the blue tights. They put Bruno in. That's how I think of him, in the blue tights. Superstar wore a lot of different colors. They could have done a lot of stuff. He's kind of like Ultimate Warrior in that sense. He always wore different stuff, so they just chose these purple tights, which is fine. But he wore green and pink and all kinds of stuff. But yeah, they surprised Backlund's not in these games. They should get Backlund into them. Because these are all heavyweight champs. They got Hogan and Ultimate Warrior. They got a lot of the Backlund is one of the few heavyweight champs that are not in the game. Because you got Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, all heavyweight champs of the world. Backlund's the only one. I'm trying to think of champs since like the 70s that aren't in the game, and Backlund's probably the big one that's not in. And another bear hug by Bruno. He's gonna tap? Nope. Nope, he's getting out. This is cool. I'm trying to think if I did this match with. Actually, I might have done this match with created wrestlers, but I don't think I ever did this match with them in game with 24. I'm trying to remember if I did. I've done so many matches I can't remember. I don't think I've done this match though with the actual in game. I know I've done it with created wrestlers in the past with the older 2K games, but not with them in this game. And Superstar wins. All right, that was a good match. Not too long. Let's get the word.